So hi there. It's Monday, 5 o'clock, and Sarah and I are chilling here. But we thought it would be useful to kind of go over 5 topics. I have 5 topics that I'm hoping to talk about. We only have an hour, and I have to talk with you about Leap 1, the midterm exam, Leap 2, and especially Leap 2. So maybe the best thing that I can do is encourage you to take a look at the amazing Leap 1 project that were part of this project, because there were some really great Leap 1 projects, and I think most of you have gotten feedback from me now, so that you received email with a letter grade, and it also has some, and hold on just a second. Sarah, do me a favor, since your sound is making my life miserable. Mute your audio.
Okay.
Okay?
Hold on. No, okay, there you go.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So, and then when it's time for you to speak, then you'll put your thing back on. So I wanted to share with you, I want to make sure that everybody sees that I have commented on your video using the Video Ant commenting tool. And I thought it would be good for us all to take a look at one really exceptional project. This is from Sydney Pimental. So we'll watch it now, and you'll get a chance to see what how it works to look at the comments with the Video Ant.
Who makes videos about her life with her husband, Gabe Conti, including vlogs, challenge videos, singing videos, beauty videos, and more. Her intended audience is mainly girls from about 15 to 21, but a wide variety of people can relate to and enjoy her videos as well. Her editing style and use of clickbait type titles on her videos are both used to attract people's attention. As far as her editing style goes, Jess uses very aesthetically pleasing fonts and colors for her transitions between segments of her videos, as shown here. On her titles, Jess sometimes takes a page out of David Dobrik's book and makes the title of the video, as well as the thumbnail, something that is very likely to make people click on it. If you look at some of the titles here, you can see how she sometimes makes them more dramatic or overexcited, like dyeing my hair and my husband's reaction, so you feel like you need to watch. This is something that pretty much every YouTuber does these days, so she's not alone here. Jess and her husband currently live in LA, so they represent a very LA lifestyle. They are different from normal LA YouTubers, however, because they're very adamant and open about their faith and speak about their love of religion frequently. Jess's main goal for her videos, as shown by the header on her profile, is to spread kindness to others. Some people who might not know her or know of her work might think badly of her choice to share her religion with the world, but she doesn't seem to mind. One relevant concept from the text is the idea that to create is to be seen, from chapter 5. In a lot of her videos, Jess Conti talks about this idea and discusses hardships as well as some of the benefits that can come from allowing the world to give their opinions about you online. Jess Conti comes off as a typical LA YouTuber, but once you watch some of her content, it is clear that she is much more than that, as she constantly spreads a message of joy and kindness to all.
Okay, got it. So Caroline, Sophie, Karina, and Sarah, my first 250 student. I wanted to show you an example of the feedback that you also received in the Video Ant. Because it's one thing to get written feedback, but it's another thing to get feedback using moving image media. So hopefully all of you have gotten an email from me and read your feedback and hopefully looked at your video feedback as well. Let's talk about the midterm exam. right? Let's talk about the midterm exam, and I will answer all of your awesome questions. I will answer all of your awesome questions about the midterm exam. What questions do you have about the midterm exam? Who wants to go first?
I guess, what is the best way you think to prepare before we like log on and take it?
What a great question. Thank you so much for asking that great question. What's the best way to prepare before taking the question? One thing that I would do is that I would kind of think about the midterm covers weeks 1 through 6. And you can kind of see that in the last 6 weeks, we've addressed 5 questions. I would be sure that you could answer those questions, right? So I would think about like, what did you learn that you didn't know before you took this class, right? What did you learn that was new, right? Because if you just give me what you knew by life, then that's not good. That's not good enough for an exam. So be sure that you can answer these 5 questions with new information that represents what you learned from the reading and viewing. We end with this last one, right? This is the one we're working on now. This is not going to, what's in here is not going to be on the exam, right? Just these 5 topics here. That's the first thing I would do. Second thing I would do, so I would review those, the readings and the videos for those weeks. Then why not take advantage of the great study materials that I provided for Create to Learn? Yes, I did give you a cheat sheet for the book because each chapter study material has slides that highlight what I think are the most important ideas. Woohoo! And vocabulary and even videos that are referenced in the book, right? So, right, what is strategic communication? Well, there you go. What about target audience? Aha, that's what it means, and so forth. So I would review the study materials for the chapters that we read from the book. So those are the 2 strategies that I would suggest could be very useful for studying. Who's got another question?
Is there a time limit for how long we can take the exam once we open it? Or can we take however long we want as long as it's between whatever the 2 days?
I love that question. Yes, it turns out that I don't expect that you work 48 hours for the exam. That would really be dumb, right? So yes, it will open on Thursday morning at 7 in the morning. It'll close Friday at 9 o'clock at night. And please don't work for 48 hours straight. That would be very unproductive.
Mhm.
But you can take the time you need to do it
Okay,
well.
gotcha.
You can take
Cool.
the time you need to do it well. You can do a little bit and then come back to it and do a little more at the times that are choosing. It's not time sensitive like some exams. I always felt myself as a learner, I always felt like that is such an artificial thing. There are a few professions where being able to bang it out, in 1 hour is important, admittedly. Journalism is one of those.
Mhm.
But in most jobs, you don't have that kind of intense time pressure. So you can do this when you need to. I think my expectation is that it take about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Just saying. That's what I think it would take if I were to take the exam. What other questions do you have? Oh, I know you have some other questions about the
How many questions is the exam?
Okay, that's very good. And what was that question again?
How many questions?
Great. Okay, I have the exact answer. And I will show you where that can be found. You know, the idea of Easter eggs where you leave special things hanging around so that only the people who like are really attentive, like the 5 of you who have actually showed up for this thing, well, you get the special deal. Don't tell anyone, right? But let's just say you went to the home page, our Notion page for the class. And let's just say you went to syllabus and assignments and you scrolled down. Because after all, you guys are finished the LEAP 1 and you're on your way to learning the LEAP 2. What if you clicked on this link, Midterm Exam, March 20th? What would you find? Okay, let's talk about it. The purpose of the exam. The purpose of the exam is to give you the opportunity to demonstrate your digital and media literacy competencies. This is an open book, open note examination. Use whatever resources you need to answer the questions fully and completely. Note, you are not permitted to collaborate or consult with anyone about this course during the 48-hour exam period. And at the beginning of the exam, I ask you to sign an honor pledge. I can't make you do anything, but I ask you to sign an honor pledge that you will honor that agreement. If you have any questions, you can tweet or email the instructor. This is a typo here. In order to do your missing word best. I just spotted that a few minutes before we went on the air. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, well. In order to do your best, comma, please read all the questions before beginning the exam. Hey, I got a question for you. Why is that such a great idea? Because you've been taking tests your whole life. Why is that such a great idea?
Maybe we would start to answer a question with one answer and realize the answer was better for a different question.
That's it. Turns out that you want to show what you know, and when you read the whole exam, you have a better strategy for thinking about, well, I can talk about this here, and I can talk about that somewhere else. Yeah, great, great, great. Okay, so as you can see, the format includes 4 short answers, 2 digital annotation activities, 4 multiple choice, or they might be check all that apply, and 1 extemporaneous speech, 3 minutes in length. Okay, now you might have other questions. I'm answering all your questions about the midterm exam. It's worth 150 points. What other questions do you have?
Is the extemporaneous speech like is that like on the, was it Flipgrid? It's going to be the same as that? And if we've been doing okay on those, we should be able to do fine on this one, even though it's a little bit longer.
Yes, and just want to keep in mind, right? Something you learned long ago, but and most of you learned this, but not everybody does this with the Flipgrid. Introduction has a attention-getting hook and a main idea. Transitions move you from one topic to the other. Conclusion, you told them what you just, you tell me what you just told me. So that kind of polish is going to matter, because it's not just a blah, blah, blah like we're doing right now. It's an extemporaneous speech. And I know you know how to make one of those. Good question. What other questions do you have?
Is there like a specific length that you're looking the short answer questions to be?
As short as possible.
Okay. All right. I usually write a lot, so that's why I like to ask.
Yeah. So short answer questions are worth, I think I would judge how much to put in them based on the point value. And most of the, maybe even all, I'm not exactly sure of this, but I think the short answers are worth 20 points. So don't overwrite because it's only 20 points, right? But yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good question. Because yeah, these are not essays. I just want you to answer the question. And I guess the theme is show me that you understand the concepts, right? And once you've done that, then you don't need to do any more. Good question. What other questions do you have?
If we've been like understanding what's been going on in the course so far and like doing the work, do you think that it will like the rate of difficulty will be like as the same as how it's been, or is it a little bit harder?
Yeah,
Or
great question. Great question. I've been thinking a lot about that. Today, when I re-looked at the exam just to sort of go like, now, you know, what am I going to say about this, right? And what am I not going to say? Part of the thing I realized was I think it's a fun exam. I think it is a fun exam. I think it's like some of the fun things we've done online all semester. Some things you're going to do some things in the exam that we have not done yet, and they're kind of fun. So I think if you've been if you've been feeling like you've been learning, it'll be fun. It won't be hard. And in 2 hours, you'll be done. And then you'll feel like, oh yeah, I learned something.
all right, cool, thanks.
Yeah, I don't think you should be panicked or fearful. This is not a trick. And I'm hoping everyone does really well. So that's the whole point is, this has been a really great class and a lot of big talent in this class. And so I'm kind of counting on everybody doing really, really well. Okay, my last chance for one last question. It's maybe a question you aren't sure about or whatever. Is there another question you want to ask me? Okay, so then let's go to our second topic. Let's talk a little bit about LEAP 2. LEAP 2 is a really cool opportunity for you to work collaboratively. And I bet you have a bunch of questions about LEAP 2. But let's just take a minute and review some of the key ideas in LEAP 2 so you understand what's going on. In LEAP 2, you are going to work with a partner to create a 2 to 5 minute video animation that enables you to creatively express some important ideas related to the themes and issues in this class. You're probably going to want to do some combination of informing, persuading, and entertaining. And you're going to pick content that is directly connected to what we're learning about. So it's almost like you're explaining some ideas or applying some ideas that you've been reading about. You can use any genre or style appropriate for a target audience of college-educated adults with an interest in digital literacy. And what I mean by genre or style, you might want to use a story, or maybe you'll use an interview, or perhaps you'll use an image collage. I mean, any genre you want. However, it has to be done through animation. Now, I do give some advice based on previous students. It's generally better to dig down deep into a topic than to try to do stuff very superficial and light. Since you have 2 to 5 minutes, you might not think that's a lot of time, but you can create a big aha in 2 to 5 minutes on one specific topic, right? There's some examples of video animations from chapter 13. Chapter 13 is all about animation, right? What did I do there? I just went somewhere else. And then basically what you're gonna do, yeah, so I say avoid making very general statements that are already familiar to the target audience, because this will be a boring video, right? So you're really trying to have your audience learn and be entertained and be informed and maybe be persuaded. I don't know, that's up to you. To find a partner, you partner on the Google Talk. Give me a thumbs up if you've got your partner already established. Look at that. I love you, overachievers. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's great. Rock stars. Right. Now, I did offer an example. Let's take a look.
Long ago, there was a very wise teacher who was preparing his student for a new lesson. The teacher said to his student, "I have been watching your progress, young man. You have been studying very hard and learning your lessons well. I believe you are ready to learn something completely new. It is as ancient as time, in pure beauty and form. You must pay close attention to the details. Remember all you already know and put it together as one." The wise teacher clapped his hands together, and there before him sprang forth a sparkling new idea. It glistened with purity. The student was washed up. He finally composed himself and said, "How can I create my own ideas?" His teacher smiled and said, "You have all you need to know. Connect it together. Apply it as well." The student was determined. He immediately threw his hands together and began a loud clap. First, those sparkles and shimmers appeared and slowly faded away. This prevented the student over and over until the force of an idea turned forth 60 minutes later. The teacher held up his hands and the student paused. Concentrate. Use what you know. Create using your own life. The teacher said. The student closed his eyes and stood in his heart. And when the student clapped his hands together again, before they revealed a new idea.
Okay, you got the concept, right? So this was a student in a different class, reading different readings, learning about different things, but very simple animation, very effective in accomplishing the goals of informing, entertaining, and maybe even persuading. Now, I thought to talk about, before I take your questions on Leap 2, I want to talk about how do you collaborate? How to collaborate with somebody who may not be in the same house now that you're all locked up in wherever you're locked up in, right? Now that you're locked up in your home. And so for that, I thought it would be useful to introduce you to a tool that is very common tools like this are very common in the business world. It's called Trello. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever used Trello. No? Oh, amazing. Okay, Trello is a project management tool. It's used for people who collaborate for a living. And it's Trello.com, Trello.com. So I've set up a board for collaborating with my Leap 2 partner. From the assignment, I could see that there's some things that I have to do. There's things that I am doing right now, like attending the Zoom webinar, get it? Right? And stuff that I've already done. And as I do the stuff, I can move it from the doing to the done, right? And I can also indicate who does what, right? So I can, in fact, I can have a little discussion about this, this thing. So you are going to go through these processes of brainstorming to talk and discuss ideas from the reading till you find something really interesting and important to both of you, and come up with a cool idea for how to focus, right? And especially stuff that creates new questions or novel ideas, maybe some paradoxes or controversies associated with the ideas. I created for myself and my partner a checklist. We should gather some additional information. We should see if we could explain these ideas to somebody in the target audience who's unfamiliar with the topic, or if we could make a connection. Trello lets me structure my collaboration so that my partner and I don't step on each other's feet, and so that we maximize the power of two, right? She does her thing, I do my thing, and together, we come together, we've got stuff to share, and we get new ideas from each other. We start to learn how to work as a team. So when I read chapter 13, I realized that we better pay attention to introductions and transitions and conclusions. We better signal our main idea. We should surprise or delight the viewer. And I'm putting all those notes in there to help my partner. And my partner's putting in stuff to help me, right? What's really cool about this is I can establish intermediate deadlines, right? So I set this date at April 10th. That's when the project is due. But as you guys learned from Leap 1, you cannot do this project in a day. So what are your intermediate deadlines going to be so that you can get this project done without going crazy, right? I even added screenshots of stuff that I thought was important to the card, right? And one thing that you have to do is you have to decide which production tool to use. So right now, one of the things I'm doing is I'm looking at a new animation tool called Anima Maker. Back over at the Create to Learn website, you know that you can find simple free production tools for animation by clicking on the animation button. These are 3 of my favorite free tools for animation, and they're easy to use, and they're fun, and they're not very difficult. And the free version, right? The free version works. You don't have to pay for the expensive version. The free version works. But I'm exploring this other thing I saw. You know, every day, Silicon Valley tech companies are inventing these new platforms. This is one I haven't used yet. It's a do-it-yourself video animation software. Make animated videos on cloud for free. So I'm still experimenting with this one, but as I looked around, it looks kind of cool. Drag and drop, very interesting backgrounds. You can access as ready-made templates. You can put in characters. You can make interesting, visually creative stories, and produce quite a professional product, right? So I'm still exploring this one. I'm not sure if this is going to be a good one or if I'm going to prefer my old standbys, Movely and Powtoon and OSnap. These are the ones I know how to use already and have used before. I got to experiment with that a little bit, but that's going to be part of the process too, is figuring out how to produce your production. Okay, I've talked all I can about Leap 2. Now it's your turn for questions. What questions do you have about Leap 2?
Do you have any kind of broad feedback that you think that you got from Leap 1 that could help all of us with Leap 2?
Oh yeah,
Any
for
mistakes that we
sure.
all made that we could like use to like kind of fix for Leap 2?
Well, the only thing that's a superbly great question. And the only thing I would suggest is now after Leap 1, you know how seriously I take that criteria for evaluation, right? Literally every sentence in the criteria for evaluation is what I'm judging. I'm judging and I'm comparing your work to some other students in the class, right? So I'm looking for evidence of each of these sentences and these are the only criteria that I'm using, right? So I'd say study these sentences and make sure that you feel like you are accomplishing these sentences. I think that's my good advice. Cool. What other questions do you have? Okay, let's do this because you guys are looking a little bit nervous. On a scale of 5 to 1, with 5 being like, oh, yeah, I'm completely all over this. This is like no brainer. I can do Leap 2. This is going to be fun, cool, and I feel very confident. That's 5. 3, you're not sure. 1, you're like, holy shit, this looks scary. All right, put up your fingers. No judgment, no judgment. Okay, awesome. You guys are rock stars, honestly. Do you have any other questions? No? All right, cool. One of the things that's really complicated and difficult about teaching online is that, you get limited access to my crazy personality and I get limited access to your crazy personalities. So I'm really glad you decided to show up for this because then you get a sense of like how I get to learn a little bit about you and see you in your spaces and you get to see me in my space. But I also invite you to take advantage of my open office hours. All the month of March, I have blocked off lots and lots of time for like just real conversation via Zoom. And you guys might not know this, but I've been teaching media studies and communication students for 30 years. And my students have gone on to do amazing things at Temple University, where I taught for 10 years, here at URI, and at Babson College, where my students were marketing and finance guys. So I have legendary students. And I'm hoping that some of you are my legendary students too, even though I am teaching online. But the only way for me to understand how you're thinking about yourself and your life and your career and how I might help you after graduation is if I get to know you better during the semester. So I invite you to take advantage of my office hour and come and just like let's hang out together because I suspect I will benefit from getting to know you better and be able to say, oh yes, I taught her when. Someday in the near future. All right. Okay, so that's enough of our meeting for today. Thank you guys for coming with me. If you want to hang on, I'm happy to talk privately after we say goodbye, but we'll wave goodbye now. Thank you for participating. Enjoy week 7. I didn't even talk about week 7, but you're going to have a blast learning about why Facebook and Google are not free. So have fun with that. Bye-bye.